We're studying Ecclesiastes, which might be summed up in the words of Peggy Lee's 1969 hit record, "Is that all there is?" The royal writer, who's seen better days, reckons life rolls along like another slow news day, and we grind through our own daily rituals. To what avail? Is that all there is? He's proving that life under the sun is life on the treadmill. You get your exercise, but you don't go anywhere. Chapter 11, verse 1 is a famous verse. "Cast your bread upon the waters, for after many days you will find it again." I've got a little testimony here of casting bread upon the waters. I was contacted recently by Manuel Sosa, and he lives in Belize. He is the Belizean judge over the Court of Appeal in the West Indies, and he's close to retirement. And I taught him 45 years earlier in Corozal in Belize. And he had been surfing the web and looked on the Trans World Radio website and saw my name. And he contacted the station and asked to get in touch and wondered if it was the same person who had taught him. And here's the strange thing. This was the first class that I ever taught in my teaching career. "Cast your bread upon the waters, for after many days you will find it again." Solomon says in The Message, verse 2, "Don't hoard your goods, spread them around. Be a blessing to others. This could be your last night." He warns that we normally need to invest in 7 or 8 ventures in order to succeed. It's what Grandma used to say about not putting all your eggs in one basket. We call it now diversifying our portfolios. I read recently that Warren Buffett had pledged $31 billion, 99% of his fortune, to the Bill Gates Foundation. He said the wealthy shouldn't leave their children enormous fortunes. He wanted his heirs to know the value of work. Well, life is uncertain, says Solomon. We need to embrace it. How important it is to enjoy life while it lasts. This is chapter 11 from verse 4. "Whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. As you do not know the path of the wind, or how the body is formed in a mother's womb, so you cannot understand the work of God, the maker of all things. Sow your seed in the morning, and at evening let not your hands be idle, for you do not know which will succeed, whether this or that, or whether both will do equally well." So diversify. Verse 9, "Be happy, young man, while you are young, and let your heart give you joy in the days of your youth." Is he remembering the years and the height from which he's fallen? He seems to be given to some sober reflections in his later years. The Message continues, "But know also that not just anything goes. You have to answer to God for every last bit of it. Enjoy life, it's short." Robert Louis Stevenson said this, "The person who has stopped being thankful has fallen asleep in life." There will be a day of accountability. We so readily mentally cancel out accountability to God all along the way. There was a father who kept a jug of whiskey hidden, and he had the habit of going to the barn every morning and taking a swig of whiskey. Well, it was snowy, and one morning, as the snow lay thick on the ground, someone followed him. His son was stepping in his father's footprints. His father saw him. He said, "I'm following in your footsteps." His dad sent him back, and then he smashed the jug. Someone's following you. Where are you leading them? We all have a sphere of influence. You may not have thought, but your brother, your sister, your mum, your dad, your cousins, your neighbours, your school friends, your colleagues at work, all are within our sphere of influence. Vernon McGee says he can imagine the scene at the first Pentecost where Peter is preaching and 3,000 people get saved, and Andrew might just nudge someone in the crowd and point at Peter and say, "That's my brother. I brought him to Christ." Chapter 11, verse 6. "Sow your seed in the morning, and at evening let not your hands be idle." Here's a challenge to all senior citizens, silver surfers, third agers. Sow in the evening of your life, in the twilight years also. Don't look for a place to escape. As you sowed in the morning, press on into the evening. Don't look for a "do not disturb" sign to hang on the door of your life. My best friend is involved in amateur dramatics, and he played some time ago at the Liverpool Empire as captain in Titanic the musical. Well, his wife would say to him, just rest a bit, just take things a bit easy. But his response is, "No, I want to keep active and involved as long as I can. For a day will come when I am forced to slow down." I can remember as a youngster having an autograph book, and my father, who was a draftsman, drew a picture of a clock on the page and wrote under it, "Time and tide wait for no man." I don't know if you've noticed in this sometimes gloomy book a contrary theme urging us 6 times to accept life as it is, a gift from God, and to enjoy it. Chapter 2, verses 24 to 26. "A man can do nothing better than to eat and drink and find satisfaction in his work. This too, I see, is from the hand of God. For without him, who can eat or find enjoyment? To the man who pleases him, God gives wisdom, knowledge, and happiness." Chapter 3, verses 12 and 13. "I know that there is nothing better for men than to be happy and do good while they live, that everyone may eat and drink and find satisfaction in all his toil. This is the gift of God." Chapter 5, verses 18 and 19. "Then I realized that it is good and proper for a man to eat and drink and to find satisfaction in his toilsome labor under the sun during the few days of life God has given him. For this is his lot. Moreover, when God gives any man wealth and possessions and enables him to enjoy them, to accept his lot and be happy in his work, this is a gift of God." Chapter 8, verse 15. "So I commend the enjoyment of life, because nothing is better for a man under the sun than to eat and drink and be glad. Then joy will accompany him in his work all the days of the life God has given him under the sun." Chapter 9, verses 7 to 10. "Go, eat your food with gladness and drink your wine with a joyful heart, for it is now that God favours what you do. Always be clothed in white, and always anoint your head with oil. Enjoy life with your wife, whom you love. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. And chapter 11, verses 9 and 10, be happy, young man, while you are young. Banish anxiety from your heart. Wonderful, isn't it, that in what is often such a gloomy book, there are those seasons of bright shining. Peggy Lee's 1969 hit record, Is That All There Is?